Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars news update video. Today I will be covering some important information regarding episode 8 of Ahsoka, which unfortunately is the season finale. I'm also going to be covering some major news and controversy regarding the upcoming Knights of the Old Republic game remake, which started out as everyone believing the game was cancelled, and then Sony gave an update and somehow managed to make things even more confusing for the state of the game. And if I could quickly ask for you to give this video a like, as it really does help out the channel a lot, that would be greatly appreciated. To start, since I have yet to go over it in a video, I do want to give some brief thoughts over episode 7 of Ahsoka. I enjoyed the episode a lot. I do have somewhat of a big issue with it, however, that I will go over in just a minute. I think the part that stood out to me the most was how fantastic the character of Ezra Bridger is being portrayed. But as per usual, there was a controversy in the Star Wars fandom, this being him not taking the lightsaber that is now Sabine's. Let me break down why it makes sense for him to not take it back. First off, the most obvious answer, in which Ezra himself says it, he only needs the Force for this battle. You really can't get any clearer than that. Secondly, he knows Sabine is being trained by Ahsoka. Sure, Sabine is still not extremely fluent with using a lightsaber, but how is Ezra supposed to know where she is at in her training? Third, it's been years since Ezra has used a lightsaber. He's been chilling with these peaceful turtles for who knows how long, but is still keeping up with the Force itself, and he fights just fine against Shin and the Stormtroopers. It's not to say a Jedi shouldn't use a lightsaber, but there are times, like in this instance, where a Jedi does not need a lightsaber to defend. I think it made more than enough sense for him to let Sabine keep the saber that he gave her, but what do you guys think about this part? Let me know in the comments down below. I also really love the dynamic between Ahsoka and Huyang. He's a fantastic droid, and I'm curious, since he is thousands upon thousands of years old, could he show up in the Dawn of the Jedi movie? I mean, we know Huyang is one of the oldest assets in the Jedi Order, so I think it would be great if he is present in that film. So overall, yes, I really liked this episode, but like I said, I do have a major issue with it. This is with the characters of Shin and Baylan, characters in which I love so far. In this episode, Baylan and Shin seemingly split ways, but I am left scratching my head due to the reasoning. Sure, we understand that Shin is leaning more towards Thrawn's return and is swaying more towards going along with him, and so because of this, Baylan sends her away while he finds whatever it is he's searching for, and that's a big problem I have with this so far. Shin does not know what Baylan is searching for or what power he could bring. So when Shin is asking questions and Baylan is giving extremely vague answers, it's reasonable for her to look at Thrawn's power and that be the only thing she sees, because it's all she knows at this point of the story. I'm really starting to worry that we will not learn what this power that is calling to Baylan will be by the end of this season. I hope I'm wrong, and I very well could be, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to keep this from Shin. I am perfectly fine with them splitting ways. I think it makes for an interesting dynamic, but I do wish we got a scene where Shin and Baylan sit down and then he explains to her what it is he's trying to find. Maybe the power is so abrupt that Shin is left with worry and fear, and so then she does make the decision under Baylan's approval to go on with Thrawn. But guys, other than this, I thought the episode was great and I cannot wait for the season finale. And speaking of which, let's talk about the season finale and some important information and news that just got revealed, then I will go over all the Old Republic nonsense. So the runtime for the season finale of Ahsoka did finally get revealed, and it runs at 49 minutes, but this number is with credits and the recap. So without these two things, the episode is going to run at 42 minutes and 43 seconds long. I've seen some say this is too short, and I understand why and may agree depending on how the episode goes. But to put it in perspective, this is actually longer than what I and many others would consider to be one of the greatest episodes in all of Star Wars, this being the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. It's all about pacing. You know, there is quality over quantity, and I think a 43-minute finale could be just fine. Of course, I could be wrong, but, you know, I cannot wait for this episode, and I really am sad that the show is already so close to being over, at least for the first season. I can almost guarantee you guys that there is going to be a second season. And with that, let's talk about some major news for the upcoming Knights of the Old Republic game, or so we thought. I had actually made a video about this on Saturday, but you guys quickly let me know that there was a lot of information missing, and I do admit on my own fault that the video was rushed, so I did take it down. I appreciate your guys' honesty, and I want to get this news out in a better way this time. So about 2 years ago, a Knights of the Old Republic remake was announced by Sony and Aspyr. The KOTOR games are some of the most loved and popular stories in the Star Wars fandom, and myself included. A modern version of the game is something I've been waiting for a long time, along with an Old Republic movie trilogy, and so I thought with this game announcement, it could be setting up the foundation for this potential trilogy. Anyways, after this announcement, there was slight controversies, to say the least, around the writer, in which this writer eventually stepped down and basically nothing was heard of for the game since. The other day, however, something weird happened. The trailer for this game suddenly was removed from all platforms. The fandom had a complete and certified Star Wars meltdown over this, and reasonably so, as we all rushed to assume that this was a sign the game may in fact have been cancelled. The reactions say it all, it was a complete panic. But literally a day after, Sony responded, claiming that the reason this was taken down was due to a licensing issue with the music that played within the trailer. And with this came a whole lot of fake news, and fake news that I unfortunately fell victim to, that all tweets and posts about the game were also deleted along the trailer, but that doesn't appear to be the case, and what really happened is it seems only posts with the trailer music had been removed. But the first question I had was, why would the music license expire for a game that is still in active development? I assume the game has been delayed from its original planned release date from when the trailer was made, which is unfortunate, but doing some research, this part isn't something that is so unheard of. The original Miles Morales trailer was also taken down too at some point, so it is possible that this is indeed the case for the removed trailer. But the problem is the music in this trailer was simply Star Wars music, which brings even more confusion, because if it is Star Wars music and the game is still in active development, then why would this license not get renewed? The reporter who spoke with Sony did say that they did not have a response when he asked if the game was still in development, so take what you want with that. A lot of people are fearful that this game is dead, but I do think Sony quickly releasing a statement shows that this may not be the case, but perhaps that is just me being ignorant. I really do hope this game is made, but as per usual with Star Wars, we shouldn't expect anything to release until we are either in the theaters watching it or downloading the game to your console or computer. As sad as that is the current state of Star Wars. But with that, guys, what do you all think about this KOTOR news? I know I would be very, very disappointed if it is indeed canceled. I think, however, that Lucasfilm does still want to do something with the Old Republic. It's just a matter of when. We are getting that Dawn of the Jedi, which is supposed to be the origin and sort of start of the Jedi Order. So I think they're going to start with that and then sort of make their way to the Old Republic side of things. And possibly if Sony does not make the game, they're simply going to hand over the project to a new studio. But I hope you guys did enjoy this Star Wars news update video. If you all did, please be sure and leave a like on it, as it really does help out the channel a lot. And if you are new, why don't you go ahead and subscribe for more Star Wars news, theories, essays, and more. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one.